Benvenuti a Tokyo. I'm here at the Imperial Palace in the Japanese capital, right near Ginza. But let's talk Japanese footballing royalty and those Japanese footballers who made it in Serie A. First up, Hidetoshi Nakata.
Perhaps the most renowned of all Japanese stars when it comes to Serie A, Nakata left Tokyo-based Belmare Hiratsuka in 1998, where he made his name in Perugia in Umbria, scoring 12 Serie A goals there in 18 months. That caught the attentions of Roma. They needed reinforcements as they hunted their first Scudetto since the 80s and signed Nakata for 42 billion lire. Money well spent though, proven by his impact off the bench in May 2001 against Juventus. Roma were 2-0 down. Enter Nakata and his 30-yard screamer. That cut the deficit. Then another shot to set up Vincenzo Montella's equalizer. A draw that kept the gap to 6 points over Juventus as Roma stayed at the top. Nakata is even more famous in Japan than Shinji Kagawa, who won titles at Borussia Dortmund and Manchester United, and even more famous than Shinji Okazaki, who was part of Claudio Ranieri's Leicester side. Part of the reason for that is what he did for Japanese football, breaking barriers. After winning Serie A at age 24, Parma then signed Nakata for 55 billion lire, where he won the Italian Cup soon after that Scudetto at Roma, scoring again for Parma against Juve in the Coppa Italia final. Later on, he would spend a year at Bologna and then Fiorentina to wrap up his Serie A career. 7 seasons in Italy overall, 31 goals in all competitions, 182 games in the league.
And next up, Shunsuke Nakamura.
Nakamura joined Reggina directly from Yokohama, where he was born, raised, and is currently the first team coach.
From there, he made the move to Calabria in 2002, recruited for Reggina's return from Serie B, and he was even given the number 10 shirt, and the club sold 25,000 of those within the first few months of the season, cementing Reggina's presence in the Asian market. As an attacking midfielder, Nakamura impressively finished his first season as Reggina's top scorer alongside Davide Di Michele and Emiliano Bonazzoli, and they survived by defeating Atalanta in the relegation playoff. Despite injuries to their Japanese playmaker, Reggina again survived the following season thanks to Nakamura's decisive goals, which kept the Calabresi 2 points above the drop. He scored 30 goals from direct free kicks during his career. And Nakamura might be known for his 4-year spell at Celtic, but it's his 3 years at Reggina in the south of Italy that Calcio fans remember fondly, back when Francesco Cozza and Mozart wore the Amaranto. As part of that golden period that saw the club achieve 2 14th placings and an incredible 10th, Nakamura departed Reggina Calcio with 1 Coppa Italia goal and 11 more in Serie A. He went on to win 6 trophies at Celtic, became the first Japanese player to score in the Champions League and pick up a Ballon d'Or nomination. His free kicks were utterly spectacular, his penalties unforgiving, both of which lit up the Stadio Oreste Granillo. The Senso-ji Temple in Tokyo, Japan. Behind me is the pagoda that belongs to this area where the temple is. It was built in the 10th century, bombed in World War II, rebuilt in 1973. That's 15 years just prior to the birth of Takayuki Morimoto, the Catania striker who played there for 5 or 6 seasons from 2006, signing from Tokyo Verdy here in the Japanese capital, making his way over to Sicily to play a bit of calcio. Now, Morimoto holds the Japanese record for youngest player to make his debut here in the J-League. And then he went over to play Serie A. He scored on debut against Atalanta in 2007, 5 minutes after coming off the bench. In all, 81 games, 15 goals. Now, Morimoto's breakthrough season in Italy came in 2008-2009 when he scored 10 goals in 25 Serie A appearances. And in the Coppa Italia, after playing Milan, Alexandre Pato, the former Milan striker, compared Morimoto to Ronaldo, talking about R9 Brazilian Ronaldo. That's how good Pato believed he was going to be, to compare him to his Brazilian compatriot. And he said that he was the best young player in Serie A at the time. There was one other club that Morimoto played for in Italy, went to Novara on loan before Catania eventually brought him back and sold him to Al Nassr Dubai. That was Walter Zenga's side. He was coaching there at the time, the former Inter and Sampdoria keeper. Morimoto, though, Japanese striker that was best remembered for his time in Catania with the likes of Maxi Lopez, Giuseppe Mascara, and Gonzalo Bergesio. Perhaps not the most popular or most famous Japanese striker to ever grace Serie A. However, Morimoto is fondly remembered here in Tokyo and, of course, in Kawasaki, where he was born about an hour south of Tokyo. Next up, the evergreen Kazuyoshi Miura, who was a trailblazer for Japanese football, the first to ever play in Serie A or in a big European league at that time. Miura scored 55 goals for the Japanese national team. He signed for Genoa from Verdi Kawasaki in 1994 and only scored once in Italian football. But Serie A aficionados and Genoa fans too will know that that goal was all important in the derby against Sampdoria, the opening goal in December of 1994. And that goal was an angled finish to beat Walter Zenga. Miura started up front with Thomas Scuravi, who glanced on a header into the box, and Miura did the rest from close range.
Storico del giapponese Miura.
Aside from these 4 players we've just spoken about now, 10 other Japanese players have graced Serie A with a total of 79 Serie A goals between them and 98 in all competitions. Italian footballers who have played in Japan in the J.League, there are 5 in total. We'll start with the most recent, work backwards. Christian Batocchio is the most recent. In 2021, Batocchio was with Tokushima Vortis, played just 10 games there, 0 goals for the midfielder with Argentinian origins, formerly of Virtus Entella and Udinese. Working backwards again, Michele Canini, FC Tokyo is the club he played for in Japan. In Italy, had a long career distinguished with Brescia. Canini played the 1 season here in the Japanese capital at centre-back in 2014-2015. Next up, Giuseppe Zappella. Giuseppe Zappella was a defender who played with Urawa Reds. He scored 4 goals in the 1998-99 season for Urawa, the former Como and Monza defender. Most recently had been the interim coach of the Juventus women. And next up is Daniele Massaro, the former Italy striker, 1994 World Cup finalist in Pasadena for Italy against Brazil. Massaro playing his J.League football with Shimizu S-Pulse. The former Milan and Roma striker was here in 1995 and 1996, 11 goals in 25 matches. Then we get to number 1, the most successful, another former Italy great, the 1990 World Cup, and also known for his time at Juventus, Salvatore Schillaci. Upon his departure from Serie A with Inter, Schillaci came to the J-League in 1994, lasted until 1997, and he scored an extraordinary amount of goals, 56 J-League goals in total, 65 in all competitions for Jubilo Iwata in just 3 seasons here in Japan. Well, there you have it, 5 Italians that have played in the J-League. Time for some Tokyo.